good morning, and happy Saturday to everyone out there. Another beautiful Saturday here on the peninsula. Good morning, and welcome to Bettina's Buzz here on SantaCruzVoice.com. It's another beautiful Saturday. I'm always so thrilled and so thankful to be able to share an hour with all of you every week here on SantaCruzVoice.com in beautiful Santa Cruz in the CTV Satellite Media Studios. And today, I'm very, very thrilled to have a special guest. I have myself, me, Bettina McBee, and I decided to let all of you know a little bit more about myself. And I thought maybe perhaps the best way to do that is I reached out to past guests, friends that know me, friends that know a lot about me, but when I put to them, ask me a question that I can then share on my show, and that can be a great way to spend the hour. And to my thrill and excitement, many people answered me back with a question. So to all of you who answered me back with questions to have on my show, first of all, I want to thank you so very much for doing that. And the first person I want to thank is our own Mr. Bill Wolverton. Thank you, Mr. Bill, because you have always been so extremely helpful with me here on Bettina's Buzz in presenting my show, making sure that my technology is always correct and I'm pushing the right buttons. And as I've mentioned before, sometimes I do live remotes. I've gone to car shows like the Concorso Italiano and other events during the Monterey Car Week, and Bill has been here minding the controls for me while I've done that. And I asked Bill for a question that I could answer for you all this morning. So Bill asked me what is something that I'm most thankful for. So again, Mr. Bill, I'm thankful for you, and I do hope you're feeling better. He mentioned that he's been battling the flu, so we hope you feel better. Mr. Bill, you've been on our prayers, all the McBee women especially. I'm thankful to be here in this beautiful part of the country. I'm thankful to be safe, especially these days, not having to battle with fires and natural disasters and displaced from my home, which is something I can't even fathom. So many people are dealing with so much pain of loss, and even people here in Santa Cruz with the flooding and the disasters at the wharf. So my thoughts and prayers especially go out to people in Southern California and also throughout our world. You know, we're all together, so even if things may not affect us directly and immediately personally, I feel that it affects us all because it does affect me. It certainly breaks my heart. So again, I'm very thankful, especially on this day, that I'm safe, that my family's safe, and that I can be here talking to all of you streaming live here on SantaCruzVoice.com. So thank you for that question, Mr. Bill. I also reached out to a past guest who's been on Bettina's Buzz, filmmaker Barack Laub. He is an independent filmmaker, and he did a wonderful short film called Volunteers Needed. And the film deals with child trafficking, a very difficult subject, but one that Barack and his co-workers on that film have brought to light in a beautiful way, and it's something that I suggest that people look into and look up Barack Laub and Volunteers Needed and really address how you want to volunteer your time to help others, especially children. But in that, thank you again, Barack, for reaching out with me for questions. And one of the questions, wait, let me find my notes. Here they are. Okay. He asks, what would I say, or what would you say are my core values? What's your core drive? Okay, core values. I try to the golden rule of doing unto others as you would want people to do to you, which expands in a lot of ways. Yes, I know, but I tend to be a helpful person. I like to be helpful. I like to help other people. That's one reason why I truly love the opportunity I have here on Bettina's Buzz, is to bring other people in the community to share their story, to share their life and light, and to bring in wider way streaming through technology, all the wonderful things other people have to offer through their talent, through their life, through what they've discovered, how they've traveled, how they experience life, and sharing that with us during that hour. So that's one of the things, I guess, in core values, just trying to be as kind as I can be. Um, I guess that is what I would say is a core value. And Barack also asked if I could talk to my ancestors, what would I ask them? Okay, one thing I'd ask them is, oh, I believe I have ancestors in the Ivory Coast, and I'd ask them if I can come back. I'd like to come back. I'd like to be able to sit with some of my ancestors, some of the ancestors that I don't know, and I'm speaking beyond my immediate family that I know from, excuse me, generations like my parents, great grandparents, etc. I'm thinking ancestral. So I would like to sit with my ancestors and find out where I really came from and my family tree of ancestry and the culture and the land, and in that way, that's what I'd learn. Want to talk to my ancestors about who I really came from before I became Bettina Louise McBee that you're listening to today. That's what I'd like to know. And just I'll ask one more question that Barack Laub had for me. He said, if you were a vacation, what kind of vacation would I be? For example, he says, would I be a ski trip? No, I wouldn't be a ski trip. Too cold. I like snow, but no, not a ski trip. I love the ocean. I love the beach. So my kind of vacation is I would want to feel that people were relaxing, that they could just let it all go, have a free mind, peace of mind, a place where they could read their favorite book, listen to their favorite music. So I would be a vacation that where someone wanted to go, that would be the vacation that I'd be, and I'd be the best vacation that they could be. How I'd make sure I had the best weather when they came, and the flowers were in bloom, and the birds were singing the best. That's the kind of vacation I'd be. Everything would be going just great, just great. Okay, another guest I've had on Bettina's Buzz, who I'd look forward to having on again, as all my guests in the new year of 2025, is Navy Lieutenant and NASCAR driver Jesse Awuji. Jesse is a wonderful young man. I've known him for many, many years. I first met him in conjunction with the Concorso Italiano when he was on the Monterey Peninsula stationed at the Navy Postgraduate School. And I wrote a story for him for 65 Degree magazine, which when I was a contributing writer. So a little bit about Jesse. Jesse asked, in coping with challenges, how do I maintain resistance in the face of personal change or societal change? Well, first of all, I breathe deeply a lot, especially lately. You have to breathe, it's true. Deep breaths, I take deep breaths, Jesse, and as I've mentioned several times, I have a faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, so I keep that very first and foremost. But also I come from a very strong, resilient family history. My father was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, and he was a career officer, soldier, and served multiple tours in Vietnam. So I think I get a lot of resilience from my father, of course, and I have an extremely strong mother, Gloria McBee, who's listening. Thank you, Mom. So I get a lot of my strength from my parents and my grandparents. I have very, very, very strong people in my family, fighters, literally fighters, and strong of character and will. So I get a lot of strength from them. And being a mother, I get a ton of strength from my daughter, Serna. Children teach us how to be strong, I believe, since I've become much stronger since I become a mother, I believe. And sometimes in dealing with resilience or hard times, like many of us are dealing with now, Being a mother teaches you how to keep positive. Positivity is an extremely important thing to have, I believe, in our days, to remain positive, whatever that means for you and your world and your life. Because if we can't stay positive, in my knowledge, if you cannot find something to maintain positivity and keep positive about, and if you don't have anything to be positive about yourself, give something to other people and bring joy to some other people. And believe me, it's been written, it's documented, that will bring joy and positivity back to you. We are in a circle, the circle of life. So in that, positivity, be strong and be positive, stay positive. And Jesse also asks, what advice would I give to younger African American women who inspire to have, I can't read this, inspired to have, sorry, Serna, well, give advice to African American women. Well, I have a daughter who I give a lot of advice to, but I would say stay true to your convictions. Stay close to family if you have family. We learn and grow a lot with our family. Family is important. And just keep fighting. We African Americans are fighters. We have to be fighters. So you just have to keep fighting in what you believe in. Stay strong in your convictions. Stay educated. Keep learning and keep growing and believe in yourself. Exceptionally important. We all have to believe in ourselves, that we can strive to our goals, and we have to make goals. And because then when you make the goals, then you can see that you've accomplished them. They're not just in your mind's eye, but you can see that you've accomplished the goal. So it's a good thing to write goals down and to see them. For example, you have to be flexible as well. But for example, in planning Bettina's Buzz, I look for guests. I thrive off having someone else to talk to. I'm a communicative person. I like people. Even when I don't like people, I still really like people. People are really great. AI is nothing, by the way. No one asked me about that. I am not a believer in AI. Sure, technology, of course, has its benefits, but nothing will ever take the place of us. Okay, you want to live in a life with a bunch of Tin Mans like in The Wizard of Oz? He wanted a heart. We need hearts. AI doesn't have hearts. Okay, and you need people with hearts to even create artificial intelligence, because you would still want your robot to care about you, correct? And there's nothing better than human beings. We are the best. Humanity is the best. So we have to believe and know that we are important, even if we don't think we are. Human beings are important. And within that, one of my guests on the show has been artist Richard McDonald. And if you're familiar with his work, or if you're not familiar with his work, he is a world acclaimed and renowned artist, and particularly in figurative work. He's a magnificent sculptor. And just in bringing about the conversation of humanity, he works and strives, like many, many artists, strives to capture humanity, the feeling that human beings have that only we can see in pieces of work and art, and appreciate the feeling that's conveyed through that art piece. So I didn't reach out to Richard to ask him to ask a question that I could use on this show, but I did reach out to his daughter, Michelle Jason, who is his gallery director and his partner in his gallery there in Carmel, which is called Dawson Cole Fine Art Gallery, which houses Richard's magnificent pieces. So I reached out to Michelle, and again, thank you, Michelle, for answering me back. And I said, okay, Michelle, if you had a question for me, what would you ask me? So Michelle asked me when I met Richard. And so I thought that was an interesting question. Thank you, Michelle, because as long as I've known Michelle, I thought she knew how I met her dad, Richard McDonald. So very briefly, I'll tell you. Back in the late 80s, when I moved back here from I was living in San Jose, working and living in San Jose. My father had just passed away. It was the late 80s. So I moved back to the Monterey Peninsula to be with my mother. Okay. So I was doing different things, and that's actually how I started at KMBY at the time. After a little while, after being with my mom, I applied for a job and got a job as a receptionist at KMBY. At the same time, as I was meeting different people, media people, I met Jerry Ford. I think that's how I even first met Jerry Ford. And he introduced me to a friend of his that did art modeling. Her name was Phoebe, and she did face, bust work, and etc. So that's even how I first started art modeling. And within that, I started looking for other work. So how I met Richard. Okay, at that time, Richard had his studio in Sand City. On the peninsula there in Monterey, right close to Seaside in Sand City. Okay, and he actually had an ad. He had an ad. I don't remember if it was in the Monterey Herald or in the Weekly. Regardless, he had an ad, a little ad, and it said he was looking for models, artists, dancers, that type. So that's what he was looking for: dance type, flexible model. So I went into his studio there in Sand City, and he opened the door and he said hello, and he had all this beautiful work that he was working on, his gigantic Nureyev and this just gorgeous work. So he said, of course we introduced ourselves, and I stood up on the model stand, and I had on, of course, what every model goes on an interview, my little black dress, stood on the model stand, and he said, "Let me see your hands." So I put out my hands and did kind of little dancing gesture movement. I do have a dancing little background. So I did that, and I was hired because he was finishing a piece, Michelle. He was finishing First Attitude. So he just needed hands to finish that pose of the hands. So that was when I first met Richard, and I posed for that, and that was the beginning of a long both working friendship and a friendship to this day. And after that, one thing that I'm really proud that I did with Richard, and then we'll go to the break, is right after we first met, he was also working on a piece from that the Alvin Ailey dancers had done. I believe it was called Rain. But he had a videotape of the dancers dancing, performing this piece. And he had the white skirt that I posed in and the headdress. And my assignment was I would go in a few days a week and just watch the video. Just watch the video of the Alvin Ailey dancers. And he wouldn't even be around. I would watch the video. And then the day he was ready to draw, it was like I put on the skirt and he put on some music, and I just emulated some of those movements that he saw that he wanted me to present, that again the Alvin Ailey dancers were doing. And I'm very proud of that because no, I'm often asked, am I a dancer? No, but with the help of artist Richard McDonald, I am projected and seen as one of the Alvin Ailey dancers. Yes, I'm extremely proud of that. Thank you very much. And we'll be right back with more questions to Bettina McBee on Bettina's Buzz.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum with some exciting news coming up on January 11th, Saturday. We're doing an amazing event, not only for Jacob's Heart, Kids with Cancer, where all your donations will go to Jacob's Heart on that day, but also to help you realize the best health you can have. We're doing a TRT special, our Softwave Machine Stem Cell Extravaganza, where you can come in and get a TRT treatment exam, x-rays, consultation, including a next day report of finding for just $49. All proceeds will go to Jacob's Heart. And here's what my staff has to say about it.
Hey y'all, I'm Lena, front desk at McCollum Family Chiropractic, and I can't wait to see you all on January 11th.
We're excited to see you. I'm Crystal, and I will take your phone calls at 459-9990.
831-459-9990. See you then.
The Hook is California's first ever cannabis outlet. 100% locally owned and operated, we're here to be your friendly neighborhood hookup. We believe that everyone should have access to fairly priced cannabis. So we work hard to get it to you for 30 to 50% less than the other guys. If you're 21 or older with a valid ID, visit us in Capitola or in Watsonville today. We're here to be your friendly neighborhood hookup. Check out our website, hookoutlet.com, for deals and stay groovy.
I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. Call the Veteran Card Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you get a tax deduction in the process. Call
800-640-9509. 800-640-9509. 800-640-9509.
Thank you.
You're welcome back. You're listening to Bettina's Buzz here on SantaCruzVoice.com. I'm having a great time. I hope you are too, because I'm asking questions to myself from people who have been on my show, other guests who have been on my show. So this has been a great time for me. I'm having a lot of fun. I didn't know I could have so much fun in the control booth all by myself, but I am, because I'm surrounded actually with my friends. They're with me in spirit in the questions that they've asked me. So again, I really appreciate all of you who took time to ask me questions. So one thing I want to say a special hello to my good friend, Dr. Larry Davis. Hi, Larry. Larry's a really good friend of mine. I've known since my days of being a CSR, a customer service representative at Monterey Bay Aviation. And Dr. Larry Davis, he's a master of plane doctoring. He's a really good friend, and he's a marvelous plane mechanic, and he works at the Monterey Regional Airport. And I text Larry. He often listens to the show. Again, thank you very much, Larry. And I asked him if he had a question, and he didn't have one, but he did answer me back to tell me that he didn't have one. So we got in a little dialogue back and forth. But quite often, Larry and I will spend time together. We don't get to see each other that often, but we'll spend time together when we do, and we'll go out and get something to eat. Right. And I usually always order a salad. And sometimes Larry will look at me and go, is that all you're going to have? You always get a salad. So in respect to you, Larry, yes, your question is, do I always eat salad? No, Larry, I don't. I don't always eat salad. Okay. And then next, we're going to move on to some other questions. Okay. My daughter Serna has a few questions for me. Okay. And this is one thing I just wanted to share too, because there's something about younger people, meaning 20-somethings, and older people, meaning, I don't need to remind you, but the 60-somethings, the me-somethings, because there's things and there's changes in imagery and projection of imagery, I think it is, that sometimes younger eyes see and older eyes don't. But there was, it's called The Dress in 2015. Maybe some of you know, it was a viral topic, this dress, okay? And it's a picture of a dress, and in the image, the dress is it's vertical differentiations of color, 2 colors, and some people see the dress as white and gold, and others see the dress as black and blue. So the question is, what color do you see the dress? Do you see it the white and gold, or the black and blue? So one day recently, Serna showed me the picture of this dress, and of course I saw it as the white and gold, and she was laughing at me saying, no, it's black and blue. So that's the whole discussion. And again, so look it up. It's called The Dress. It was a viral topic, 2015. What do you think? So maybe take some time, look it up, and decide about the dress. Okay, so then what's another question Serna has for me? She wanted to know, she wanted to know, this is a good one. Okay, she said, if I was in a movie with Keanu Reeves, would I rather be his friend or his enemy? Okay, that's the good one. So, in other words, would I rather Keanu murder me, or would he possibly actually converse with me? Okay, so the answer to that is, well, okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. Okay, Keanu's not always John Wick. That's true. That's true. Okay, I just, my mind's thinking again. So Keanu, okay, let me ask myself again. If I was in a movie with you, would I rather be your friend or your enemy? Well, I don't know. But then when we go back to the John Wick movies, he's got some really good fight scenes with his some classic fight scenes. So there it is, because the dancer in me, yes, because we've talked about some of those. Shout out to the choreographers, most especially in the John Wick movies. Okay, they are spectacular. So yes, based on that, and just recently we watched John Wick 4. So yes, I'd rather be his enemy, but an enemy like common, like we could be fighting for a while, like the knives and the throwing and the tripping and all that. Yes, yes, yes. That. So I'd rather be his enemy. Okay, and then Serna asked me, okay, if I was on an island with, oh God, if I was on an island and there's no music or no coffee, okay, is that a choice? Oh no. Okay. I have to think about this question. I'm going to put that on hold. No music or no coffee. No coffee or no Prince. Okay, I can't think about that one right now. So I'll move on to another question. Okay, and before we go to the break, I reached out to pilot friend Georgia Ventris, who also has been on Bettina's Buzz. And Georgia's a wonderful friend, and she has some great, great stories of flying, and she's just wonderful, and a wonderful flight instructor. And I know one thing, I'm sorry, I'm looking through my phone. She did say, I know she asked me something about hobbies. Okay, right, Georgia? But anyway, Georgia asked me hobbies. Oh, yeah, hobbies. And she also said, let me think about it. Did I graduate college? Yes, Georgia, yes, I did. I graduated college. I graduated from San Jose State University in 1981. Yes, I have a degree in mass communications. Okay, so yes, I did graduate from college, and I have a degree. And how I ended up in radio, oh, that was a question. How it was, I'm a big proponent of, sometimes you have to be in the right place at the right time, I think. It's just simply that. Like how I even got this position, this wonderful position, to share an hour with all of you every hour here on SantaCruzVoice.com. I was just lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, and someone, I'll even say, decided to take a chance on me. It's like they looked at me and said, as Chet Tart did, who was the general manager of KMBY back in those days, the late 80s. I started as a receptionist. And Trish Bell, who's been on SantaCruzVoice.com, she's been on the Noon Balloon, but she was doing the KMBY Jazz Transit, as it was called, the KMBY Jazz Transit. And Trisha Bell ran that show, and she left the market, and the show just filtered to me. I was asked, do you want to do it? And I said, well, sure. It's an opportunity. That's another thing. When opportunity comes your way, just take it. Don't be afraid. Even if you're not sure, just take it. And life is the best teacher. Education is a wonderful thing, but life is the best teacher. You got to get out there and try and get your feet wet and take the opportunity. Go ahead, take the chance. Take the chance. So, yes, thank you, Trish. And the opportunity came up to have the KMBY Jazz Transit, and I loved it, and I learned a lot. And media people, radio people, streaming people are extremely helpful people. The arts are a collaborative medium of dealing with people, so it's a natural collaborative space where people want to help each other succeed in our goals. So that's how I started in radio, and through those contacts, through Brian Thomas, who does the show before mine here on Santa Cruz Voice, and Michael Olson, who also has shows here, those collaborations and working together, that's how the opportunity came for me to be with you this morning. So we're going to take another short break, and I'll be back with more questions to me, Bettina McBee, on Bettina's Buzz.
I can't believe it. I'm so happy I can't sit down straight. Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. These are just a few of the great expressions we hear every day from folks who use Knox Roofing. We strive for making our customers feel totally confident to know they can depend on Knox Roofing to protect your greatest investment, your home. And we want you to respond to us by saying expressions like, "Holy smokes! That's great." Call Knox Roofing anytime at 831-461-0634. Thanks, folks.
Treehouse dispenses not only the finest cannabis products, but information to those who want to know how to use cannabis for maximum benefit. Hello, I'm Jenna. If you would like to know how best to use cannabis, ask your friends and neighbors at Treehouse Dispensary, 3651 Soquel Drive. If you're 21 plus with a valid ID, no appointment is necessary and the information is free. Order online at ourtreehouse.io and pick up at our drive-thru. See you soon.
When you need help managing your estate, call on the Angel.
Hello, I am attorney Angel Hess, and I am ready to help. Whether you need a will or a trust, a guardianship or a conservatorship, or if you are managing the financial affairs of a loved one, I will help you with over 7 years' experience working in estate planning and probate fields.
When you need help, call on the Angel, attorney Angel L. Hess at santacruzlegal.net.
Has the holiday bustle got you searching for a peaceful place to work? Look no further than Satellite Santa Cruz, your holiday hideaway. Reserve a desk, office, or conference room. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, parking, coffee, and snacks. Give us a call today at 831-531-2300. Mention Santa Cruz Voice and enjoy a free day pass on us. Your holiday haven awaits.
Thank you for listening to Bettina's Buzz here on santacruzvoice.com. And just as a reminder, yes, this Saturday, the 11th, January, Saturday 11th, 2025, I am my own guest on Bettina's Buzz this Saturday, and what I did, just as a reminder, I reached out to friends and past guests of the show and said, hey, I'm going to be my own guest. If you had a question or questions to ask me, what would they be? So again, to all of you who gave me questions to ask myself, I really appreciate it. It made it really fun for me, and I really, really appreciate it. So just to follow up again with some of the questions Georgia Ventris had for me, because I was looking during the break through my phone, and she asked me, did I always want children? And Georgia knows Serna, my daughter. She knows my daughter. And Georgia's also a mother, and we've talked quite frequently about the joy and how happy we are that we have our daughters, and we both became mothers by definition late in life. But so yes, and yes, I did want children. I always wanted to have children. I didn't know that I really wanted to have children until I got to be 25, and my mother had already had all three of us, her children, me being the youngest, and I had no prospects or anything about children, and I got really quite worried. And I just remember even talking to my dad and saying, Dad, am I ever going to have children? I don't know. And I won't even say what he said. Well, he just told me, well, yeah. And I said, what if I never have children? And he told me, well, don't worry about it. I always wanted a son, and I didn't have that, like disappointments everywhere. No, he didn't say that, but that's what he meant. But of course, he was always very thrilled to have me because, of course, it's me. But yes, I always wanted to have children. But when I actually knew I was going to become a mother, I was extremely excited. It was something I planned for my beautiful daughter, and when she came, yes, it's the best thing ever. Her face is the joy of my life. So yes, mother is a great thing. I'm so blessed and glad to be a mother. And dream job, I think that fits in the same category. There's a lot of things in life I've aspired to be, wanted to be, and actually have accomplished, like these moments here with you. Was radio ever a goal of mine? No, but it fell into my life and I love it. I enjoy it. Did streaming, having a talk show, was that ever a goal in my life? No, but it came into my life and I'm so glad It did. Was being a mother a goal? Yes, and I'm so glad I accomplished that goal. It is the best thing I've ever done. Being a mother is the dream job. It is a job, and it's the most fulfilling job I've ever done. Okay? So, going back to more questions, I reached out to independent filmmaker Daniel Troya. If you will remember, yes, Daniel has also been a guest on my show, and Daniel created a film, We're All in This Together, where he biked across the country with no food and just his will, his grit, his positivity, his faith in humanity. He in that words of like the streetcar named Desire, when she says, I've always depended on the kindness of strangers. That's a line in a film that's always stuck with me, and that's how Daniel Troya went across the country with no food and traveled and beat the storm and the odds and pedaled his way. You have to see his film, by the way. We're All in This Together. Look it up. There's ways to see it. You'll enjoy it. It's so inspiring. People who do not so much the unimaginable, but will take themselves out of their comfort zone and put themselves out there, expose their hearts. That's what I feel Daniel did. And you get that back. He got kindness back. Even in the scariest moments, he got kindness back. And Daniel, you are a true inspiration to me. And it's always good to hear from you too. And he says he would ask, when did I realize I wanted to be in radio? Well, like I said, when the opportunity came, I realized, well, this is great. And people helped me from, again, the KMBY days to these days to help me have the best show I could have. Who is my biggest influence in media? I would really have to think about that. I can't think of one person or one thing or media outlet even at this point that I could say. What's the favorite part about having your own show? Well, having everyone listen, finding guests, going to social events and meeting new people and talking about SantaCruzVoice.com and our interest in putting the community first and giving a voice to all the many wonderful people here in our community and stream it through the world. And, we're all in this together and the world's getting smaller and smaller. So that's what I like about my show. And he asked if you could have anyone in the world as a guest on your show, who would it be? Right away, I said, my guest I would have on my show is my dad, Lieutenant Willie Hubert McBee. I would love to have him as a guest on my show. He would be the best guest to have. So those would be my answers to Mr. Daniel. And to tell you all, if I could have that guest, that's who I'd have. And also looking through my notes, let's see what some of my other things. Oh, I just want to throw out some of these comments to some of the people who have who did give me questions to add to my show today. Again, I want listeners to check out Volunteers Needed. Barack Laub, check him out through social media, through Google, Volunteers Needed, his Instagram, follow him, find out about him. He's a local young man who went traveling to Nepal and wanted to do just a fun travel video and found something deeper and more meaningful to both his heart, and wanted to share that with others, and to both inform, educate, and enlighten people about when you choose to do volunteerism, just be careful in the avenues and how you plan to spend your time. And again, to Navy Lieutenant Jesse Awuji, I want to say again, I look forward to having you on my show again in 2025. And to everyone out there again, Jesse Awuji is a wonderful young man. Look him up. He's got great social media. He strived to continue his goals in my writing a story and learning about him. He was there on a Navy ship, thinking about driving and being on NASCAR, and he focused and worked on his goals, and he's just been a wonderful asset to my life and has inspired me in many ways. And Jesse, again, thank you. Back, about 10 years ago, I don't remember the year, but I nominated Jesse for NASCAR's Diverse Driver Award, and I know Jesse won at least once, I think twice, but anyway, and I was very proud to nominate him, and not only proud that I was nominating him and my nomination was received and he won. So again, he's a very inspirational young man, and I suggest that you check him out. And if you do any traveling, especially if you're leaving out of the Monterey Regional Airport, again, Dr. Larry Davis. Larry, thank you for always listening. Even in the days at MBA, I learned a lot about aircraft and documenting the students' log hours into the plane log. And I used to want to be a stewardess, by the way, in terms of different things I wanted to be way back in the day, because I love traveling, being a military brat, and growing up traveling every couple of years until my father retired here in Marina in the mid-70s, right, Mom? Mid-70s? But I loved traveling, so there was a time I wanted to be a stewardess and be on planes, and so all the time, just traveling all the time, here, there, everywhere I wanted to go. So in that way, though I was grounded, Monterey Bay Aviation was great for me because, again, I got to meet pilots like Georgia Ventris and work with Larry and really learn more about planes and plane safety, and learned that those little Cessnas are just too little for me. No, I'm not going to get in those. But it was great learning experience, and my daughter got to fly in a, what was it, Serna? A Cirrus. She got to fly in a jet while I was working there. I'm there at the desk, and Serna was off jetting around with Commander Paul Tanks at the time. So those were wonderful experiences, and led me to meet some great guests that I have now had on the show, and will continue to look for more guests to be on the show. And different things I like to do. As Georgia said, hobbies, beautiful things to do on our coast. Go see the butterflies, support the butterflies. But I guess at this time, and as I'm ending up my hour here with you this Saturday, and we're approaching many more changes that are going on in our country, and I would encourage all of you, all of us, to remember that kindness goes a long way. And I encourage all of us to, especially at this time, give our prayers to those who are displaced in Southern California. You know, the images are very hard to take, but in terms of what makes you grateful, I'm extremely grateful that I'm safe and my family's safe. But you know, you'll find that there's many organizations, good organizations. I don't need to list them. You can find them. They're letting us know on the news, like KSBW. Many good local channels are letting us know of how we can be of help and assistance to all people in need. There are those displaced in Southern California, but there are so many people displaced in all different ways. So those of us who can and are able to help others in any way, some way, those ways are precious. I mean, even the imagery of seeing people save animals, horses, running down the street. Oh yes, technology. And my daughter Serna was telling me, in terms of movies, if you know the movie Spirit, and about the horse, and you know, Spirit goes in to rescue a horse that he loves, and the Native American Little Creek, I mean, the first responders, even animals are first responders, running back in to help save, and and point out who needs help. And my daughter showed me imagery of like this dog that was just lost, and of course surrounded by all this smoke. So then he just the imagery of this dog going up to a firefighter and just being there with the firefighter, and they were obviously probably comforting each other. So again, love and prayers to all the firefighters, of course, to all the first responders, the people who run in while the rest of us are running out. Blessings to you all. So many people are impacted, and yes, I'm thankful to all of those who are willing to run in while the rest of us run in fear for our lives and for our livelihoods. And so again, check out some of those sources that are available to all of us and ways that we can give to those in need, especially those suffering from the fires, and there are people that have and businesses displaced here in Santa Cruz with the flooding and different businesses having problems due to the wharf. So just those of us who can keep those things in mind, how we can help others a little bit goes a long way. Prayer goes a long way. Whatever your type of prayer is, prayer does go a long way. Giving our thoughts to others through prayer is a really good thing to do. So I encourage all of us to do that. Those of us who aren't in immediate harm's way or displaced, take time truly to be grateful for what you have and that you're safe and that your roof is over your head. That's what I do every day, but especially these days. And I'm very thankful that we live like stone's throw away from the ocean. The Pacific Ocean is looking better and better all the time, the refuge of the ocean, and just being so close to safety in a sense, where at least fire can't get to you there. And in my last 7 minutes, I would like to say a very special hello and happy birthday to Paige Bradley. Today is Paige's birthday, and I reached out to Paige. I was going to see if she could be on Bettina's Buzz at all today, but she's very busy and celebrating her special day. She told me that she was going to be in Paris today. So happy birthday, Paige. It's been great having you on the show. I look forward to having you on the show again. I hope you're having a great time and having a wonderful birthday. And one thing I want to say to you, Paige, is, hey, Arch Project, I had a great time. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, also, coming up right after me is Raising the Standards. We're going to have Michael Jacoby. He's going to be on, which is also great. I want to encourage all of you as you go through the week. We have the news right here on SantaCruzVoice.com. We have it at the top of the hour. And then during the week, of course, we have Good Morning Monterey Bay. Hopefully, Mr. Bill will feel better and he'll be there with Rosie. Also check out, we have China Now, we have Michael Olson and his food chain. Always a good time. Mr. Michael Olson is always someone good to listen to. Always thankful for you, Michael Olson. Special shout out to Marlene and Little Whiskey. Thank you for being on my show. I also want to say a hello to Tina Brown and Rose Celery. They are two women who here, especially in the Santa Cruz area, have always inspired me, and I've modeled and pivot and been with them, and they've been gracious women and have come on my show. And that was one goal I had. Yes, I always wanted to be in a movie, and I got to do that during the pandemic. Thank you to Rose and Tina. I got to be in Pivot the pandemic, and I actually got to go see it with Cerna. We were in it. We got to go to the drive-in. They set up a drive-in area there by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk there, and it was great. It was fun. So I've been on film. I've achieved these goals. So you just never know what's right around the corner, right here in your backyard. So yeah, answer the ads. Go meet the artists. Go to the openings. Talk to the people. There might be some great opportunities out there for you. But sometimes you just don't know until you try one thing and then it leads to another. It's like the yellow brick road, You just start heading one way and then the road splits and then you pick another way. But always know, no matter what road you go down, it's not necessarily the wrong road. It's just the road that you picked at the time, and you just keep going down the road, and great things will happen. So I really encourage everyone to stay positive, be helpful to others, and keep listening to santacruzvoice.com. If you have an opinion, give us a call. Some of our shows take callers and they welcome your call, so do that. If you have an opinion, something you want to voice, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone number is 265-5050. Call it during the week and be on live with us, stream live with us. Tell us how you feel, what you care about, what's important to you, because we all have a voice, and I've really, really enjoyed sharing my voice with you. But again, I couldn't do this, even to share my voice with you this morning. On a different day, I would have said, no, I don't have a guest. I can't do a show. I'll ask Mr. Bill to play a re-show. But no, today I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to have my own show. I'm going to be my own guest with the help of my friends. So thank you again for asking me questions that I could share with all my listeners. I want to encourage everyone again, yes, pray for peace. Pray for us all of us, all of us. Pray for humanity. And in your prayers, if there's any way you can give to help others, to help animals, to help your neighbor, do it. And the best you can do is smile and be kind to other people. We all appreciate that. A little kindness goes a long, long way. I want to thank you all again for listening. Also, again, I have to say it again. I want to. Happy birthday, Paige. I hope you're listening. I know you're in Paris, but I hope you're having a great time. You deserve to have a wonderful time. And I'm very proud of Clarity and all the work we've done together. Thank you again, Michelle Jason, for your questions. Dr. Larry Davis, Georgia Ventris, of course, to my daughter, Serna, for always being my right hand, my amazing daughter, helping me with my notes and the shows, keeping me up to breast what's going on. Thank you, Mom, I asked Mom, do you have a question? Do you have a question to ask me? And she said, no, not really. I don't think I have a question, but I know, Mr. Bill, my mom's been asking about you because you've always been so kind. So her big question to you, Bill Wolverton, is how are you doing? And she hopes that you're doing well and you take good care. Holy Cross needs you, Santa Cruz needs you, and Rosie needs you. So everybody, you have a great day. Enjoy this Saturday. January's just clicking away a mile a minute. Thank you for always listening to Bettina's Buzz. And I'm going to think of other great guests to have on my show. But hey, now I know if I don't have a guest, I can handle this. I can do it because I stayed positive. And my drive back to Marina is going to be even more special on this beautiful day because I know I accepted the challenge of not being afraid and come here and sit here and talk to all of you and tell you I'm grateful for all of you for taking time to listen, and have a great day. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for being human. Humanity all the way. God bless you all. See you next Saturday on Bettina's Buzz. Bye-bye. I had 25 seconds. Oh well, I wanted to use the last seconds. Okay, counting down. Have a great Saturday. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.